The newspaper Respublika's appeal to the decision on the publication's re-registration was partially satisfied by an Astana court, upholding the rejection to issue a re-registration certificate by the Ministry of Culture. The court obliged government bodies to fully eliminate the committed violation of rights of the company ADP Limited and to consider its application for the re-registration of the newspaper Maya Respublika. In addition, it was decided that the committee should compensate all legal costs of the company. But by the decision of another court, a popular internet forum Center Тяжести could soon be shut down. This time the decision is not politically motivated and it's purely based on the business interests of the portal's founders.
Internet forum Center Тяжести could soon be shut down. The decision to block the site was made on April 8 by the Almaty Inter-District Economic Court. The resource boasts the impressive 600,000 visits per day. The former administration member of the forum, Tatiana Benz, accuses Dmitry Zimin, who is one of the owners, in misappropriation of the domain name. The forum team and the second owner found out about this by accident. Journalists made sure the forum's co-owner Dmitry Zimin appeared at the conference.
In the 90s, such cases were called raider attacks.
In 2007, Zimin and Isabayev registered the company New Line Media, thus becoming the owners of the forum. 2 years later, according to Tatiana Benz, Dmitry Zimin re-registered the domain as his own. Now Isabayev wants to reclaim his ownership through the court. His representatives, however, have yet to clearly lay down their claims, while the defendants are not going to give up.
I think that someone just wants to make a sensation out of this and depict us as dishonest people.
The owner of the website After KZ, Alisher Yelikbayev, knows everyone involved in the conflict but is reluctant to say who is right. He believes internet is gaining popularity in Kazakhstan since it promptly figures in court trials.
We witnessed the redistribution of TV channels, newspapers, and now it is time for the top-rated websites to fight for the user.
Nevertheless, the main victims of the conflict were once again regular people, the 200,000 forum users who used it to discuss the most burning issues for already 10 years.
Another court hearing has taken place in Astana. Interestingly, defendant Talas Agimbayev demands the court to actually try him to once and for all end all litigations initiated by the father of Kazakh Prime Minister Kazhimkan Masimov.
Talas Agimbayev was willing to be the defendant, but the Astana City Court rejected the appeal of his opponent Kazhimkan Masimov. About a month ago, the father of Prime Minister Karim Masimov asked the court to make Talas Agimbayev compensate him for moral damages in the amount of $70,000. The damage was allegedly caused by numerous publications in the press, yet the plaintiff filed no claims to journalists, which served as the basis for dismissing the case.
At the moment, Masimov is busy with settling accounts with his loaners, but in a year or two he can bring up the suit again. To avoid this, we should repeal this decision and send the case to the Sararka District Court to be reviewed by a new team, and to refute it because there are still debts to this day.
Vyacheslav Sali, the judge of the appellate board, did not think long over the decision and took it in the matter of minutes.
The reason for the refusal was the fact that the claim was filed only against one individual, Sagimbayev, while the law specifies that media publications should also be involved if dealing with libel cases and demands of printed refutals.
Sagimbayev supporters were outraged with the court's decision. According to human rights activist Kazhimkan Masimov owes Chimkent businessman about $1.5 million. After involving journalists in the scandal, Masimov Sr. began returning the owed money. Sagimbayev believes that only trials and press publications can make Kazhimkan Masimov return all of his debts.
Meanwhile, the leaders of the movement Zheltaksan 86 appealed to politician Aynur Kurmanov, asking him to take responsibility for an article published on the website sotsopr.kz. The article and the subsequent scandal were caused by the cancelled protest rally scheduled for April 11th.
Be a man, don't hide, we're waiting for you, Aynur. Gulbahram Junis.
Aynur Kurmanov did not accept the stranger's invitation as he does not know anyone named Gulbahram. Apparently an internet article, National for shows or the meeting is cancelled, hurt the patriots' feelings. Gulbahram Junis took part in the events of December 1986. At a press conference which was ignored by Kurmanov, the Talmaz movement leader was called the author of the article, for which he would supposedly have to answer. I think Aynur Kurmanov is a coward, otherwise why didn't he come here? I called and texted him several times.
I don't know her personally, so I couldn't know who called me. As for the SMS, I didn't reply or show up at the press conference because I don't think I really need to. Besides, I think it was sponsored or commissioned.
Socialist Kurmanov said he did not write the article but knows what it is about. The publication described young nationalist patriots who called off their rally scheduled for April 11th. After talking with officials of the Almaty administration, Kurmanov believes the leaders of the movement Zhaltakstan betrayed the idea of the social struggle and youth resistance. We cannot follow Kyrgyzstan's example of rallies as I need my people. I fought for their independence in '86 and I don't want to destroy what we have achieved.
People have lost hope and were very angry, so I think this is the first of all the betrayal of interests of their own supporters who wanted to express their protest. There are no excuses for that.
The ideological views of the Zhaltakstan 86 activist and socialist Kurmanov failed to coincide in the end, but the conflict did not go beyond personal claims. Thus, it is very unlikely that Kurmanov will invite Gulbakhram Zhunis for the next rally, scheduled for April 19th.
More than 200 AIDS patients in Temirtau live without specialist supervision, purposefully avoiding medical treatment, reports Karaganda Regional Prosecutor's Office, which found violations in the work of the local AIDS center.
The Temirtau AIDS Center has no control over its patients. This conclusion was made by the city prosecutor's office, as more than 200 infected people refuse patient observation. The supervisory body calls for fining them for $43.
The doctor's mistake is ignoring the Article 327 of the Kazakhstan Code on Administrative Violations. The issues of fining these people was never raised by the center.
In response, doctors say that they try to visit the HIV-infected patients almost every day, but people rarely let them inside. Could you recall the total number of your sexual partners over the past 5 years? Experts complain that the majority of patients do not have permanent residences or places of work. Doctors even contact the police, thus the law enforcement officers now have the list of HIV-positive patients gone missing. We were told that our information was passed to the personnel. We also regularly make inquiries to the address bureau. People cannot be treated against their will, say the employees of the National AIDS Center. Doctors can only warn about the potential liability.
Doctors can only explain the matter and provide medical assistance, but not prosecute. It is the work of other agencies.
Nevertheless, the prosecution office reports that the AIDS Center workers were brought to the disciplinary responsibility for omission, forgetting to say anything about bringing the HIV-infected patients to actually being treated.
These were the latest updates from Kazakhstan. Thank you for being with us and goodbye.